All right, you guys, we're going to start seated and if you can, with your knees, we're going to sit back on our heels. So, some people, actually, everybody start with a block or two, even if you don't need it. Okay. Um, and of course, if you cannot sit like this because of your knees, then you just don't. Okay. You don't have to. All right. You can have the block either way. Like it could be wide, like this, might feel better, or it can be the narrow way. Okay. Ah, yeah, just take a moment. Notice how your feet and ankles feel, how your thighs and legs feel. You can kind of look around, orient to the space. Maybe take a sigh or two. You can let your eyes close if you want, or you can just let your eyes settle. Notice where your hands want to rest. And as you're ready to, just notice the contact points between the floor, the props, and your own body. Getting a sense of groundedness. You might even rock a little bit on your sit bones, just feeling the connection with your props. And then letting go to gravity a little bit. So, if you're holding your shoulders up or your jaw is tense, feel for letting it go. And beginning to notice your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. And as you're ready to, you could begin to breathe a little bit wider. So on the inhale, maybe you can feel your whole torso expand three-dimensionally. And then as you exhale, you could blow out through the mouth or the nose and repeat. So not breathing in a way that strains you at all, just allowing the breath in and then lengthening your exhale. If you want to add in ujjayi breathing that you can hear in the back of your throat, if you know that breath, you could add that in now. If you don't, it's okay. Just keep breathing the way you are. And then as you're ready, let's inhale to sit up a little bit taller. Yeah, not in a strained way, just in an expansive way. Okay. And we'll start to rock the pelvis back and forth. So it's kind of like a cat and cow. What I want you to get the feel of, and you might need to widen the knees to feel this more, is like that your pelvic floor goes when you rock back, it kind of faces forward a little bit, right? And then when you rock the pelvis forward, it faces the floor a little bit more, right? Just feeling that. And noticing yourself rolling on your hips. Some people might actually feel their sit bones, their ischial tuberosities hitting down there. Okay. But you might not feel that depending on how much padding you've got back there, right? Everybody's butt is a little different. Okay. Good. Just noticing that sensation. And if you want to add in a little more cat and cow through your spine, you could. Okay. Just allowing yourself to move as much as you want to through the spine, through the neck, through the hips. And a couple more of those. Good. And then from here, let's come forward off our blocks and just set it out of the way. And we'll stretch into the feet a little bit more. So again, tuck the toes under here and sit back. Now, some of you will have no problem sitting up because of your knees and feet are okay, but some of you won't want to do that because of your knees. So just feel free to do it either way. So you're just coming forward and up, or you can stay there. and breathe. If it's your knees that are giving you trouble, feel free to take a folded blanket behind the knees. I'll create a little bit of space for you. Okay, keep breathing. And then let's go to flat feet. So let's take the tops of the feet down. And again, you can just sit back with the blanket behind your knees. You can come up. Some of you might even want to lean back to get a little more of a stretch through the front of the ankles. And you can go back and forth between the tucked toes and the flat feet. Okay, flat ankles. Keep breathing. So, notice how you're breathing. Good. All right, now I'm going to take your blanket. And you guys in the back that have the foam rollers, you'll use the foam roller for this. We only have 2 foam rollers, unfortunately. So we're going to take the long end like this and just roll it up nice and tight. So you guys at home just want something firm, okay? You might do 2 bath towels or something if you don't have a firm blanket. What we're going to do is put this on your quadriceps, so on your thighs, the fronts of your thighs. Now with the rollers, you guys on foam rollers, you'll prop yourself up on your forearms and you'll literally actually roll, right? Those of us on blankets can't really roll, but what you can do is kind of crawl and rock back and forth. So what you're feeling for is any tight, like I can feel these little clunky spots in my quads. I don't know about you guys. So I'm rolling over them, going side to side a bit. And if you're doing this at home and you have a foam roller, you can go grab it and do it. And the other thing you can do, you guys, on the roller or the blanket is when you find one of those clunky spots, bend and straighten the leg that you're feeling it on. Keep breathing, okay? Try to let your neck relax if you can, even though you're holding yourself up. Ooh. Anybody else finding some good spots? Even on the blanket, huh? Yeah, and so what I like to do is I find a lot of them by my knees too. So I'm just crawling up to right above the knee, and it can be the inside or outside. You can find different spots to release. Just remember to keep breathing so you're not like holding or seizing up in your neck or your jaw. Good. Now you could always do this for a while, right? There's probably a lot of spots in here, but we're going to come off now and we'll move the rolled blanket out of the way or the foam roller out of the way and come down for a moment. You can pad your forehead with the backs of your hands or however it feels best on your neck. And let's take a couple of breaths here as you breathe in, noticing where you feel your breath against the floor. And as you breathe out, softening somewhere. And again. And now let's slowly press the pubic bone down to the floor so your glutes turn on. And then exhale as you very slowly bend the knees, almost like you've got weights on your ankles. So like you're trying to flex your hamstrings like you would flex a bicep muscle, right? Kind of like that, really slow. And then release it back. Can you keep your pubic bone pressing down as you do that? Let's just do a couple more. Good. Now, next time you bend them, you can release the pubic bone and just start to windshield wiper the legs so they go side to side, and you can let your hips move too. So any amount, side to side. Keep breathing. Now, from here, let's take our hands like we were going to do a push-up, but a little higher, more on the sides of the head and wide. And let's take our head to look to the left and let the feet come down to the right. And see if you can push into that left hand and sit up, looking over the left shoulder. So a little bit of twist. Inhale. And now as you exhale, we'll slowly come back to where we were and just switch sides. You control yourself going down, look to the right, start to push yourself up and come around. And keep going, you guys, just trying to make this as easy as possible. So think of it like it's an efficiency of movement that you're working on rather than getting something just right. And to find a little flow in your own body. A couple more. And then next time you come down, let's stay down and straighten out the legs, inhaling up to Sphinx pose, coming up on your forearms. Good. Pressing your pubic bone down, inhale here. And as you exhale, let's reach the left arm forward, twisting around to look to the right. Good. And then inhale back to the center and exhale, other side. Inhale, center. And as you exhale, let's just lean to the side, grabbing your roll again. Now this time, it's going to go below the belly. So you might, people tolerate this in different amounts, right? It might be fine, the same thickness, but you might need to make it a lot thinner too, even just fold it up in a small rectangle. So I'm going to put it on my soft belly, like on the belly button, but you can arrange it however it feels best to you. You might need to stay up high and you kind of wiggle the hips back and forth, getting accustomed to it. You guys are in the back. You're going to want to do this with a blanket, not the foam roller. Sorry, that's going to be super intense. I mean, maybe you want to do it with that, but I recommend the blanket. Good. And just keep breathing. Okay. Good. If you tolerate it, you can come down lower. You might even feel your heartbeat against it. Anybody else feel that? You might not too. Don't worry, your heart's still beating. Keep breathing. I hope so anyway. Good. As you inhale, you might feel the belly expand into the roll. As you exhale, allowing it in. So we're just trying to break up any tension in the abdominal region. So you've got all the, you've got your layer of skin and some fat cells, right? And then below that, you've got abdominal muscle, and then all your organs. There's fascia too, lots of stuff going on in there. And then below that, you've got your psoas muscle attaching to the spine and running all the way down to the femur bone. A lot in there that can get tight. Couple more breaths, trying to relax your jaw, relax your face. Good. And then as you're ready, let's inhale up to Sphinx again. Now, if you want to move this roll out of the way, because sometimes this roll is so intense for people, just take it out. Okay. So you can either keep it there or take it out for this. Let's move it slightly so that your pubic bone comes down to the floor. And then either stay in Sphinx or inhale, you might lift elbows. Good. Good. Exhale, you could stay here, relaxing the neck. Inhale. And then exhale back down, bringing forearms down. Good, we'll do that again. So engage the glutes, then inhale, you could come up, shoulder blades away from ears. And then exhale back down. Good, now you've all got your pubic bone on the floor, right? So we're gonna stay with that and bring our left forearm across and see if you can reach around for your right foot. Now I know I didn't tell you to grab a strap, but you could use a strap here if you have one. I can grab you one if you need it. And then you come back down to face the floor. The other thing you can do if you can't get your foot is lie on your side and try for it, okay? But otherwise, you can face the floor like this, okay? You might even put your head on a block. You're pressing your pubic bone down and you're kind of facing the floor if you can. Good, and getting a quad stretch, right? Either side is fine. Do you want a strap, Mary Ellen? Okay, here. Yeah, that might feel better. Yeah. Got a couple more breaths there. Trying to relax places that don't need to work right now. Good. And then from here, you can release the foot. Inhale back to your Sphinx pose. And then exhale other side. So you'll have to bring the pubic bone up to get the foot, strap it or hand. And then you can turn to the floor again, pressing that pubic bone back down and breathing. Now feel for a really wide breath, either with Ujjayi breathing or with your natural breath, just nice and wide on the inhale, long on the exhale. Now from here, let's release again, moving your blanket out of the way and your block. Let's come down, forehead down, hands ready for a push-up. Inhale to get your shoulder blades down your back, roll those shoulder heads back. And as you exhale, we're not gonna push up. All we're gonna do is draw the ribs in and the belly in so you can feel the core contract and then release. I just want you to get that first motion, okay? So again, inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, engage the core by drawing the ribs up and the belly up. Okay, and then back down. Now we'll try to push up. You can push up to knees or you can push up to high plank, whatever is better for you. On your exhale, core in, then push up. You can come right to knees or plank. Good, and then going back either to child's pose, sitting on your heels like this, or downward dog with knees up. Okay, keep breathing. Whatever you've chosen to do, can you relax your neck? Good, following your breath in. And hi, Marlene. And following your breath out. Welcome. Good, one more breath there. And now let's come back to knees or up to knees, either way. And we'll be in tabletop position. From here, we're gonna just play around with the shoulders a little bit. So if you internally rotate the upper arms, these guys, do you see how your shoulders kind of roll up by your ears, right? So you feel that. And now externally rotate the upper arms. The eyes of your elbows will start to turn forward when you do that. Okay? So just feeling the difference between those two positions, okay? And now let's stay in the external rotation, the eyes of the elbows forward. And relax your neck. We're gonna do our protract and retract of the shoulder blades. And if you're new to this, it can take a bit to get it. So I'm going to explain it. If you're not new to it, just go ahead and do it, okay? And let me explain it to others. It's easier with the tank top on. So the retract, your spine stays the same, but your shoulder blades come toward one another in the back. And then on the protract, your shoulder blades widen, but you notice I didn't round my spine. They just, you can always do it up on knees or against a wall too. That can help you get it. On the floor, it can be a little bit trickier. Oh, I did lose my AirPod. You guys can still hear me at home. Is that right? Okay, good. Where is it? Felt like I had one less thing in my ear. Oh, here it is. All right, keep going. And then if you've got that protract, retract, you should start to feel muscles working. You guys feeling muscles working as you're doing it? Good. What you can do next is roll the shoulder blades. So just like you were sitting here rolling them, you're trying to do that in the tabletop position. And now try to do it the opposite direction that you're going. Just reverse. Keep breathing. Good. Relax your neck as you're doing it. Good. Now let's keep it protracted. So keep them up. Okay, inhale. And as you exhale, let's tuck the toes under. Now, if you have knee issues, take your rolled up blanket and put it back there. Okay, you might even need your blocks next to you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try to tuck the toes. If you're okay to do so, can you try to lift the knees up as you're sitting there? Right, like this, a little balance. Now, okay, you can use a rolled up mat too. So when I had really an issue with my knees, I would put a rolled up mat behind them. It's a little hard to get into, but okay, good. And then from there, you can come out whenever you need to, right? So let's inhale, try to lift tall if you're balancing. And then as you exhale, can you softly drop your knees down? You can also put a blanket if you're nervous about it, or even if they just hurt with impact. Okay, so you just, right? And then inhale and exhale. Let's try to lift again. If you're okay there, you could take a block or your hand might reach the floor. Just take one hand down and inhale, reach the other arm up. Good. And then switch. You can even look up if you want to. Good. Good. And then inhale, you might be able to balance with both arms up, maybe, maybe not. Keep breathing. Good. And then as you exhale, slowly bringing the knees down if you can. Arms come forward. Downward facing dog, lifting knees, pressing back. Just stretching out the calves and ankles a little bit so you can bend one knee and then the other. Side to side, maybe even swaying the hips. I'll turn the heat down, you guys. Here we go. Okay, now slowly let's lower back down to the knees. Good. Inhale to protract the shoulder blades. And exhale, can you float the knees off the floor just an inch or two? If you can't, just keep them down. Now, can you protract, retract with the knees floating? Keep breathing. You know you can always put your knees back down, right? Core is engaged. Couple more if you can. Good. And now let's drop to the knees and place the forearms down on the floor. We're going to inhale and turn the palms up, trying to get the thumbs toward the floor, and exhale, palms back down. Just let your neck fall down and repeat. Now, the next time you bring palms up, make a fist and press down your wrists as you lift the knuckles toward the ceiling and repeat. Inhale, backs of hands down, spread fingers. Exhale, fist and lift. Good. Now, next time hands come down, let's put palms back down on the floor. As you exhale, we'll come to child's pose. But as you do that, extend the wrist so the fingers come toward the ceiling. You guys see me back there at home? Let's see. There we go, like that. And then inhale, rise back up to tabletop and stretch the wrists by leaning forward any amount, whatever works for your hands. And as you exhale, sit back again, wrists extend actively, neck relaxes, and repeat your own pace. As you come forward, it will be helpful for your wrists and hands if you press the fingertips into the floor. I mean, it should be helpful. I don't know if it will be, okay, but try it out. Good. Now, next time that you come forward, we're going to put the forearms down again and then turn the palms up. And we're going to stretch the hips up and back like puppy dog pose without changing the arms and hands. So you might not get the arms straight. You're just going back a little bit, stretching into the shoulders a different way, a big external rotation of those upper arm bones. Keep breathing. Good. Now let's put the palms back down. And we'll stretch, and you can go to child's pose more if you want. I'm going to take my right hand all the way to the right and then take my left hand over to meet it. Take a couple of breaths there. You might peek under the left arm a bit. And then slowly walk to the other side. Big breaths into that right side of your ribs. Good. And now back to the center. Let's inhale up to hands and knees again. Good. And exhale. Let's come into plank pose. You could always have knees down too. So knees down plank, you would have your tail tucked like this. Okay. Knees up plank, you want your hips to be high, your tail tucked in both of them. Okay, good. Keep breathing. Tuck that tail under. You might need to walk your feet back for some people. Good. Now exhale, drop to knees or lower down without dropping to knees. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Good. Now, as you exhale, let's exhale, just draw the lower belly in, engaging it, not like sucking it in, but tightening it. Almost like if you were on something really cold, like a cold, I always think of a veterinarian table or something, like those metal tables, and you want your belly off of it. Think of that, like engaging. Okay, and notice how that takes the pressure off the low back. Okay. Now, some people, it really depends on your own low back, but some people, it might feel okay to keep going, like to keep lifting up, tucking the tail, protracting the shoulders. So you'll see I'm in a modified forearm plank right now. I've got the tail tucked, right? Now, if you can get into that and you can release, if you can get into that without back pain, then we're going to come into forearm plank. It can be this version with knees down, right? Or it could be tuck the toes and come up. If you're like, no, this doesn't feel right to me, please come up onto hands and knees and do it that way, okay? So whenever you're ready, exhale, you start to protract the shoulder blades, draw the ribs in, come to whatever variation of forearm plank you want to be in, and breathe, okay? Keep tucking the tail, and if your knees are off the floor, lift the hips and tuck the tail. Right, so it's not like a downward dog. You're not hinging at the hips. Keep breathing. Let's try to take a few more breaths there. Of course, you can come out early anytime you need to. But a couple more. Good. And then when you're ready, dropping to knees, you can stretch back either to puppy dog pose or to downward dog pose. A few breaths there. Letting your neck go. Good. And now coming down to knees first or stepping right leg forward into lunge. I'm going to pad your left knee and drop it down to the floor. Let's get your blocks up front too. And then we'll rise up to a half kneel. And then inhale to tuck the tail forward so that you feel a stretch in the front of the left hip. Okay. Exhale. And then inhale, let's reach the left arm up toward the ceiling. Go way up. And exhale to take the right back of the hand on the inner knee, on the inside of the inner knee. Okay, good. Put pressure hand to knee, knee to hand. And keep the tuck of the tail. So keep, good. And then lean to your right. Good, keep breathing. Keep tucking the tail under. You might even peek under the left arm. Good, a couple more breaths there. Just opening up this whole left hip flexor all the way up that left side of your body. One more breath. And then exhale, coming out. Upright here. I'm going to inhale, take the hands in front with this kind of clasp here. And it's like rounded like a beach ball in front of you. Pull the hands apart. So it's a really strong. And then we're going to inhale, lift them up. We're going to do is do a halo. So you're going to take the hands and the fists as though you were drawing a circle around your head at ear level. Now, if you have shoulder injuries, just do what you need to. Keep pulling the hands apart as you do this. Keep breathing and try to keep the ribs down. So we'll isolate the shoulders. Now reverse directions. Good. Now come back to center, bring the hands down. Let's take your hands to your blocks. Inhale to lift the back knee off the floor. You'll want your blocks on the medium level probably for this. Exhale, can you step the right leg back so you're in plank pose? Good, get really strong. Protract the shoulder blades. Inhale. Now exhale, can you bring the right knee in towards your chest? And then inhale, step it back. And then exhale, left knee in towards your chest. And inhale, step it back. Repeat. Try to relax your neck and jaw. Now, the next time you step your right leg forward, let's put it back down in the lunge. Good. Inhale, and as you exhale, start to round the spine. Your front leg will straighten a bit and draw the belly in, engage it. And then inhale, come back to your lunge. Repeating that. So your exhale, it's okay to have your blocks high if you need them for this, or medium. Now, when you're exhaling, you're engaging those abdominals. The next time we do that, let's step and switch feet. So it'll look like this. You'll exhale, step, step, left foot forward, right? And then inhale there, exhale, try a few times on the left side. Okay, a few times, and then we'll add the step, step. Okay, so you exhale, you can go forward and back. I think I showed it the opposite way last time. It's a little easier to step that back leg forward first rather than the front leg back, I'm realizing. Okay, now you could switch this to a jump switch if you wanted, right? So your exhale, as you do this little press down, you use that, build a little momentum and maybe a hop switch. No pressure, right? You can keep stepping if you want to, okay? So you decide. If you're having trouble with your wrists, you guys, you can use fists as long as you're on medium blocks. Don't do this on the high blocks, right? And then that would keep the wrist from having to extend so much. Okay, next time the right leg is forward, we're gonna stay there. Okay, let's hold both or left hand. We're gonna lift this block up. Okay, so we're gonna rise up. Good, back heel is lifted if you can. You can always put it down if needed. Okay, inhale, you're holding this left block. Gonna start to take it behind your back. So extending the shoulder. All right, keep breathing, inhale. Now exhale, can you externally rotate this upper arm bone and start to take it up and back behind you really slowly toward the ceiling? Good. Keep breathing. Then just bring it down and in front. Okay, now we're gonna go the opposite way. All right, inhale, up. Now exhale, start to rotate the shoulder inward. Internally rotate. Come back behind you and down. Good. Now from here, you're gonna reach down, hinge, and get your other block. Good. Both in your hand. Inhale. Exhale, stepping that left foot forward. Now it's like this, you guys. It's just a little kickstand right here. If you have to move your blanket, you can. And can you see that I've got my right leg bent too? And my butt is going back. So my tail is up. Inhale tall. And exhale, hinge at the hip. Start to take the chest reaching forward. And then inhale, rise back up. Exhale, untuck the tail, keep it untucked. And inhale, rise. Okay, now where we're trying to feel this, you guys, is here, right? I feel it right away. Can you feel it there? If you can't, some things that might be going on are that your hip might be too far forward or that you're not hinging. Instead, you're rounding like this, okay? Okay, let's try a few more. These are like one-legged deadlifts with the support from that back foot. So that back foot, like ideally one-legged deadlifts would be without that foot on the ground. So you're just trying to be really light with that back foot. A couple more breaths. Good. Keep reaching chest forward. So if you start to round, just don't go down any further or bend the knee more to get there. Good. Good. Now, next time you come down, put your blocks on the high level, please. Good. And inhale, extend the chest forward and take the back leg off the floor if you can. I know that hip might be really tired. Bend your right knee a little bit and scoot that right hip back. So you square the hips to the floor. Good, and reach your chest forward. You might need to bend the knee to reach the chest forward. Good, now from here, inhale. Exhale, can you open that left hip to face the left? And then inhale, can you close it again? Good, and repeat, moon rises. That's what these babies are. And is that hip really feeling it? Yeah, good. Do you want me to turn the heat down more? You're okay? Okay, good, keep going. Good. A couple more. Good job, everybody. Now what we're gonna do is close the hip, look back between your legs, start to bend the back knee. We're gonna place the top of the back foot on the floor, then the shin, then the knee, and then have a seat, okay? Lean back, taking your hands to the floor. Inhale, crossing right ankle over left thigh. So just stretching out that same area we just worked. Inhale, good. Exhale. So what you can do is kind of come in and out of this like this, right? See how I'm releasing it and coming in. If your knees are healthy and you're a little more mobile, another option would be to take the left outer foot to the floor and come to a double pigeon and back up. So Mary Ellen, you're not going to do that. Okay. We've been talking about her hips. Yeah. So just go really gentle and stick with those figure fours, please. Okay. And maybe other people won't do it too, right? Just know your own hips and your knees. Good. And don't make yourself do it. Okay, now from here, when you come forward, just like cross the legs instead. You might be able to roll over your legs. You can go through a plank, through a vinyasa down to the floor, or you can go back to your child's pose or down dog. I'll show a vinyasa. And an exhale going down. Inhale to rise. I'll exhale to lower and push up and back. Take a few sighs, whatever pose you're choosing to rest in. So that could be child's pose, puppy, down dog, or anything else. Good, 2 more breaths there. And now inhale to bend the knees, and exhale, left foot is stepping forward to our high kneel or half kneel. Can pad that knee. Okay, we'll rise up. Inhale to tuck the tail so you feel something here. Okay, exhale. Inhale, let's lift the right arm. Place the back of the left hand on the inner knee. Create counter pressure. Good. And then stretch way up again. And as you exhale, a little lean. Keep tucking the tail on the right side. You might peek underneath the right arm. Good. Keep breathing. Engaging the right glute. And then inhale, rise back up. And exhale, hands come down. Now, just set up for those halos again. And now we're going to reverse how the hands are. So this would be probably the normal way you do it. Switch them. Okay, and pull apart. Right. Let's start on the opposite side that you wouldn't normally start on, and keep breathing. It's like you're drawing a circle. Oops, I just popped my ribs, right? Sometimes I do them that way, but let's isolate the shoulders by drawing the ribs in. And keep pulling those arms apart. Now switch directions. Good, and then bring them forward and release. I'm gonna take our hands to the blocks. Now remember on the other side what we did. We're gonna lift the back knee. We did a bunch of practicing with the rounding, right? So you could do this with your steps to switch sides, or you could do your hops, okay? So just progress through it however you wanna do it. Maybe you do a little bit of both. Remember, the really drawing in of the core will help you land lightly for your feet. Okay. And we're going to end with the left leg forward. Okay, we're going to come up to a crescent lunge slowly, bringing the right block with us. Let's just get steady first. You might need to widen the feet. Right, back heel is up, but it can be down if needed. Inhale. And as you exhale, let's start to take that arm back behind, extending the shoulder. And then you'll externally rotate the upper arm bone as you try to sweep the arm high up. Keep breathing. Go very slowly. Good. And now we'll go the opposite way. Forward and up. And then start to internally rotate the arm. Bring it back and down. And inhale here. As you exhale, you might look where your blanket is. You're going to try to step that foot forward, a little kickstand. Let's bend that left knee and scoot the left hip back. We'll exhale down to grab your block and inhale very slowly, pressing into the left heel. Come up. And then exhale, you hinge at the hip. Okay? And left knee bends as much as it needs to keep your back in neutral. Inhale up. Good. Keep going, you guys. Keep going. Good. Celia, think this with your chest. Look at my chest. Think this, right? Yeah, rather than rounding. And you don't have to go down all the way. Yeah, that's it. So you just isolate this. You feeling it there? Okay, good. If you're feeling it in your left hip, you're doing it. Keep breathing. Good. Okay. And the form doesn't have to be perfect either. I'm just giving you tips to help you feel it where we're trying to get it. Okay. Now from here, you guys, let's make the blocks high. Place them down. Inhale, reach chest forward, arrange left foot. Exhale, right leg comes up behind you. Your weight is in your left heel. Okay. Reach chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, open right hip to right. Inhale, close, relax neck. Repeat. Okay, a few more. Whew, feel good, huh? Good, okay. One or two more. And then from here, we're gonna bend both knees. Look at your back foot coming forward as you lay the top of the foot down, the shin, the knee. Have a seat. Come back. Now we're doing left ankle cross. You can be on your blanket or off. Okay, and just bringing yourself in and out of it a few times. You can keep going with this, even holding it, or you could come more into that double pigeon if there's no pain in the joints. Okay. And that's laying the pinky edge of the foot down, pinky edge, and we've got dorsiflexion in both ankles going on. Oh, that feel nice. If it doesn't feel nice, back off, right? Like that, you don't want it to be intense. If it just wants to feel like, oh, that's a nice movement. I'm getting mobility here, right? That's the feeling we're going for, not ow. Okay, a couple more. But now I'm gonna lean back and stay with that left ankle crossed. The hands, if the wrists are healthy, the hands are coming down, fingers pointed outward. If the wrists aren't healthy, you might have to stay where you are, or you might have to figure out how to use this. I'll show you in a moment. So we're gonna inhale, roll the shoulder heads back. Exhale, press into that right foot. Maybe you can lift the hips, engage the right glute, and inhale back down, and we'll repeat. Okay, so you guys repeat. If your wrists are talking to you, I would do normal reverse tabletop with this instead. Okay, so your choice. We're trying to get this big shoulder extension is what's happening here. So make sure your shoulders are feeling okay too. Next time you come down, let's take a break and switch sides. So you could take a break just by holding the shins and taking a couple of breaths. Noticing if you've developed any tension in for me, it's my neck where I tend to get it, and my jaw, but for you, it might be somewhere else. So just kind of checking in. And then let's do the other side. Okay, so right ankle crosses. You could always stay here and stretch or do the fist modification I showed. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back. Exhale, can you lift the hips, squeeze that left glute, and you can come in and out of these. Good, one more. Head slowly lowering, uncrossing. Might feel good to round, relax the wrists or roll the wrists. Take a couple of breaths here, letting shoulders soften. Another breath there. And we're going to do a bit of pranayama before we go into our next sequence. And you could do that sitting on the block or blocks like we did at the beginning, or you could do it, if that pose doesn't work for you, you could sit cross-legged or any other seat, okay? I'll show it in Vajrasana, which means rock pose, okay? That's sitting on heels. I'm sitting on a block though. We're going to do what's called the bellows breath, or Bhastrika in Sanskrit. And it's like like the fire bellows, you know, the things you go like that with. So it's like breath of fire, you know, where you're exhale and you pull the belly back. So I'll demo breath of fire. Okay, now bellows breath is that, but very fast. So it's like this. You don't have to do that. You could just breathe, okay? Or you could do it slowly and instead do Kapalabhati, which is the slow version, okay? So when you're ready, let's inhale and exhale. Do about 30 in your round, okay? Inhale and exhale. And just like inhale part way and begin. And keep going. You don't do this if you're pregnant. I don't think any of you are pregnant. No one's mentioned that. Okay, but if you are, just breathe. And the reason is just because there's all this constriction. It actually probably isn't even that bad. That's just the traditional, we're out of tissues. I apologize if you need anything. I know everyone's got allergies. After you do about 30, settle and notice. You might feel a little lightheaded. Right? Just noticing the experience. What is this for? What this is for is abdominal tone. It affects the intestines too. It's meant to like create some internal fire, like get things moving in your abdominal area. Okay, let's do another round. Okay, so inhale and exhale. Inhale part way and go for it. And then when you're ready, letting it go, noticing. As you inhale and exhale now, of feeling a really wide inhale and letting your exhale just happen a couple of times. And then from there, can come forward, moving your block or blocks out of the way. You can either just step one leg back at a time to stretch out the knees, or you could come into down dog. You're in downward dog, pressing down in the space between your thumb and your first finger, and also pressing down at the tips of each finger. And now from here, let's walk forward toward the front mat of the mat. Inhale to extend your spine forward. And exhale, chair pose. I'm gonna sit. Inhale, press down through the heels as you reach the arms up, standing up. Exhale, arms out to the sides. Let's clasp them behind the back. You can bend the elbows and take your knuckles to your sacrum as you inhale to roll the shoulder heads back, elbows squeeze toward one another. Good. Now exhale, and you straighten the arms a little bit, taking the knuckles off the sacrum. And bend the knees, Utkatasana. Good. Inhale, tail up for this version. Good. And exhale, let's fold over the legs, the knees stay bent. Arms could go towards ceiling possibly. Inhale. As you exhale, release the arms. Look at your right foot. See if you can begin to stand on the right foot, lifting left leg off the floor, arms towards ceiling, standing up. Inhale. Good. Exhale, warrior three. So we're going to try to balance here, sending that left leg back, chest forward. It's okay to put the foot down if needed. Inhale. Let's stay here. Exhale. Reach that left leg back. Inhale. Exhale. Let's place the left foot down, crescent lunge. Inhale, shoulder stretch again, hands clasp. Good. Bend back, knee tuck tail. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale. We're slowly opening to the left to warrior two pose. So adjust your feet, kick the left heel back, taking the arms out to the sides. Inhale. Good. I'm going to do a little wrist stretch. I'll come around and show everybody. I'm going to show everyone at home first. I'm going to inhale, turn palms down. Good. Exhale, stretch your fingers away from your hands. Like just feel like you're stretching away. Good. Lower your shoulders a little bit. Good. Now feel like you're stretching your hands away from your wrists. Keep breathing. And then feel like you're stretching your wrists away from your elbows. Palms are down. Good. Stretching elbows away from shoulders. Good. And now very slowly on an inhale, let's make stop signs with the hands, fingers toward the ceiling. Good. As you exhale, let's turn them back down and make a fist and move the knuckles toward the floor. Good. Let's repeat that. Okay, so inhale, stop signs. Good. And then the exhale with the fist. Everybody lower your shoulders a little bit so you're not getting tense in that upper trapezius muscle. Good, a couple more. Good, now from here, let's drop the arms. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. And inhale, reverse warrior. So we're gonna lift the right arm up toward the ceiling. Good. Exhale, relax your neck. Good. Inhale, reaching higher. Good. As you exhale, slowly pivoting toward the front, finding your blocks. I'm going to put hands on high blocks. Inhale, supported warrior three. So we're reaching the chest forward like we did for moon rises, but hips are facing floor. Good. Relax neck. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, and start to bend the right knee a little bit. And exhale, we'll start to let go of the block, standing on one leg. Left knee comes forward. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, stepping down. Good, and then just pause, shake it out a little bit. I'm gonna do that again on the other side, okay? So we'll inhale, shoulder opener, clasping hands behind back, rolling shoulder heads back, and at first squeezing elbows toward one another. Good, exhale. Then inhale, you can start to straighten the arms a bit, taking knuckles off sacrum. And then exhale, chair pose with the legs. Good. Inhale. Exhale, folding over thighs, but with knees bent. Arms might move towards ceiling or away from hips. Good. Let's inhale, stay here, let neck go. Good. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, look toward left foot. Release arms, begin to put weight on left foot. Start to stand up, balancing. Inhale, arms come towards ceiling. Good. Exhale, balancing warrior three. Hips square toward floor. If you can, left knee can be bent to help that happen. Good. You can always tap the foot down right behind you. Good. Inhale. Exhale, right foot comes down, crescent lunge with back knee bent. Inhale, another shoulder opener. Hands clasped, good. Roll shoulder heads back. Good, you can stay here, you can straighten arms, whatever feels best. Good. Keep breathing. Feel like you're breathing right into your rib cage here, just opening up. Now very slowly, let's exhale, turn towards your right, warrior two. Adjust your feet, let go of the arms. We'll take traditional arms to start in warrior two with palms down. Good, shoulder, but elbows a little lower than shoulders. Good. Now inhale, stretch fingers away from hands. Keep breathing. Hands away from wrists. Wrists away from elbows. Elbows away from shoulders. Good, now very slowly on an inhale, stop sign on hands. Good, and exhale, fists and knuckles lower, repeating. Keep breathing. If your shoulders get tight, like you feel that tension up high, lower the arms more. Okay, the next movement, dropping arms. Inhale, shoulder roll. Exhale down the back. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards ceiling. Reverse warrior, head looks wherever feels best. It might be up, it might be down at your back foot. It might be neutral. Opening the left side ribs with your breath. Good. Now on an exhale, we'll slowly release this as we pivot toward the front, finding high blocks. Inhale, you might need to adjust feet. Exhale, supported warrior three, walking blocks forward, squaring hips to floor. Good. Keep reaching back through that right leg, like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Good. Neck at ease. It's just in neutral. Keep breathing. And now very slowly, on an exhale, we'll start to let go of blocks, bending front knee more to stand on one leg. You can inhale as you reach up. On exhale, stepping down. Good. And then just step to side to side a little bit. Good. And then if you're willing, you could close your eyes here in Tadasana, which means mountain pose. Feeling the three corners of each foot on the floor. And getting a sense of your whole body here. Like your body is a field of sensation. And then feeling your breath. Inhale, widening that breath. Exhale, lengthening. And again. And now with eyes open, let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, reaching your spine forward, hands come to legs or blocks. And exhale, bending knees. You're going to place hands on the floor and step back to plank pose. Good. Inhale, feel like your armpits are sliding back towards your waist. Good. Exhale, placing left knee on floor. Pivoting to the right As you do this, let your left lower leg pivot as well. Adjust so the right hand feels supportive, rolling, no, that's the left, right? Left upper arm bone back, and then reach your right arm along your ear. Yeah, let's get really long. So this is a version of side plank. This is an option for side plank, okay? And inhaling here. And now as you exhale, let's square back to the floor, bringing arm down. You can come to knees down plank or knees up plank, inhale. And then exhale, right knee comes down. Gonna pivot to the left, right upper arm bone rolls back. You could also be on fist here. And stretching left arm along ear if that feels okay, or wherever you want it. Good. By breathing into those left side ribs. Good. And now exhale, squaring back to the floor. Good. Now from here, if you know you want to be on knees rather than in high side plank, you might want to pad them. We're going to show, I'm just going to show it on knees first, okay? If I were to do this on knees, I would start in a tail tucked, knees down plank. Inhale here, I'd exhale, come to one side. I'd inhale, stay, and then exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, stay, exhale, other side, right? So I just go back and forth between. If you'd rather do it knees up, you'd be in plank. Inhale, exhale, roll to high side plank. Stay for the inhale, move on the exhale. Okay, so choose what you want to do, all right? And let's get to it. So we'll be in plank pose first, either variation. Protract the shoulder blades. As you exhale, turning to the left or either side, rolling that bottom upper arm bone back. Stay for the inhale and exhale back to your plank. Protracting shoulder blades, inhale, exhale, switching. Okay, a few of these each side. Good, everybody. And when you're done, either downward dog or child's pose. Whenever you get there, what you're choosing, could you take a sigh? Let your neck soften and release. Yeah. Nice. So notice how you're feeling through your whole body. And we'll come down to our knees or up to our knees. And then come onto our backs. You'll want your block or your rolled up blanket close by. You slowly lower down. We're coming into supported bridge pose. So you can take any height of your block. You can use a bolster too, or a rolled up blanket. We'll inhale, press into the feet, lifting hips up. Your block could be on the low or the medium height. Probably don't need it on the high height, even if you can. And it goes below the hips, like on the sacrum area. Tucking the shoulders under a bit. And what you're feeling for is a natural curve in your neck so that it's not pressing into the floor. Have your arms wherever they feel best. As you inhale, feeling some expansion in your torso. And as you exhale, letting go somewhere. Repeating. Yeah, any leg positions are fine. I'll tell you a few ideas. For example, you could straighten out one leg on the floor and take a few breaths before switching sides, right? You could take legs towards ceiling or even just one leg toward the ceiling, stretching your hamstring. Or you could leave them just as they are. And then as you're ready, or whenever you're ready, you could lift up with both feet on the floor, lift up off the block, and slowly lower, coming either into windshield wipers or happy baby or anything else you want. Um, And now finding your way to either Shavasana, which is flat on the floor with any props beneath knees or head. It might also feel nice to do Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, where soles of feet come together, knees open, blocks beneath the knees, and blanket either on the body or below your head. Or if you have two, you can do both. Let me know if you need any props brought to you. Just give me a little wave and I'll get them for you. Nice, everybody. So once you get there, the idea is to feel comfortable and supported so that you can practice letting go. So making any adjustments needed. And then taking a couple sighs. Attempting to let go of as much effort as possible here. Letting go of effort around your eyes and forehead. And in your jaw, your tongue, your throat. Inviting that softness into your shoulders, arms, wrists, and hands. And down into your belly, hips, inner thighs, knees, lower legs and feet. whole body releasing. And if there were one way that you wanted to feel for the rest of your day, or a quality that you'd like to bring into your day, imagine you could breathe that in right now. Breathing that quality into every cell of your body. And on the exhale, it's kind of softening around it, letting it go. And you can stay here longer, or you can bring movement back whenever you're ready to. And as you finish your practice, I'm not going to Om today because I'm losing my voice a little bit. But if you can keep the intention as you move out of gratitude, connectedness, that's what the Om is all about, interconnection. That's probably enough, right? Just those two things, right? So as you move out, whenever you're ready, and I thank you all for joining me today. Thank you. There is a workshop this Sunday with Carolyn, if anybody's interested. It's a yin workshop focusing on breath and spinal health.